lead over the Nets at the break. Up and down games, Capper. I gotta get some water in.
Yeah, you gotta get pumped up. You gotta go. You know, decaf. You go straight up. Go high test tonight. Will you, pal? Stay pumped up because you're gonna need it in the second half because there's gonna be an awful lot. It's a windshield wiper game. It's a high, quick pace, and there's an awful lot of offense going on. And maybe that's a nice way of saying there's not enough defense going on by both of these teams so far. Also, Chris. The Nets are going to be really good offensively. So are the Atlanta Hawks. Both of these teams, well, their success this season will be determined how well they develop on the defensive side. But boy, is their offensive firepower. How about the three-point shooting? Both teams identical with 9 for 18 from 3 in the first half. And making shots and have that type of firepower to knock them down. It was impressive, an impressive array of shooting, but there were too many big breakdowns on both ends where guys are able to get all the way to the rim without anybody in their way. It was the Nets got there against the Hawks. The Hawks on a number of occasions were able to get down because of defensive breakdowns all the way to the rim against the Nets. And again, I know the coaches right now are talking defense. Their defensive strategy, staying attached. Maybe got to stay at home a little bit more on the three-point shooters because Steve Nash told us in the pregame interview a few games back that he wants his team to work in a 5-man unit on penetration where everybody comes in. Where the Nets last year used to stay at home on shooters. I think they might have to stay at home maybe a little bit more on guys like Bogdanovich and Cam Reddish and these guys that are making shots because there's a lot of shooters there for the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, as entertaining a first half, it's like an ABA game, except the ABA didn't shoot threes that often. It shot threes when you watch the NBA, but it didn't happen. Maybe it happened 8 times a game. It wasn't a big deal. The NBA game is different than the old ABA when the scores are big because of the way they manufacture points via the three-point line. So, again, really entertaining. Kyrie Irving becomes a wild card right now, because he really he had as bad a half as he's had this year. He was 1 of 10 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. So Kyrie Irving's got to do it offensively, but don't discount what he's got to do defensively. Oftentimes he's going to be on Trae Young, or he's going to be picked on, and I mean that as a pun, that in fact that he'll be picked and screened, so he's got to get over. Also picked on because when he switches on to different players, they like to go into the post against him. He's got to come up on both ends of the floor to help the Nets get a victory tonight.
Nets are coming back onto the floor. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, 2 of the first guys out there going through some warm-up shooting, trying to see if they can heat up in the second half as the Atlanta Hawks with a 68-67 lead as we get set to start the third quarter here in Brooklyn. Well, reminder, shop the Nets 2021 City Edition collection inspired by Brooklyn-born artist Jean-Michel Basquiat. This collection has sparked worldwide interest. Visit netstore.com, secure your City Edition merchandise, and do it right now. This has been the FanDuel Nets halftime report. At the break, it's Atlanta 68 and the Nets 67. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with the third quarter from Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Right after this, you're listening to Brooklyn Nets basketball on the Fan. Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM WFAN.
Verizon 5G is here with the coverage of 5G nationwide and the unprecedented performance of Ultra Wideband, the fastest 5G in the world in more and more cities. 5G Ultra Wideband is built with ultra-low lag, which means fans can now stream the game without missing any of the action. This is 5G